down to 54. Currently, it's about 65 in San Bernardino. That's the latest in news. I'm Di Rice on KCAA. This report has been brought to you by the Foundation for a Better Life. Winston Churchill's words stirred his country in the face of defeat. Today, they inspire us to reach for our own victories. Commitment. Pass it on. From the Foundation for a Better Life at values.com.
West Coast Auto of Montclair is the 2015 top-rated pre-owned dealer in California, offering a service department that surpasses expectations in every single way. And while you're there, browse West Coast Auto's extensive lot of best-in-class pre-owned vehicles.
You're getting the best-in-class vehicles with financing options like 0% down and no payments for 90 days. Visit westcoastauto.com or call 9099-million.
From the KCAA Weather Center, I'm Tom Ladd. For this afternoon, it'll be mostly cloudy, high near 67. Slight chance of showers before 11 p.m. tonight. Mostly cloudy, low around 53. Chance for rain Thursday, mainly after 11 a.m. It'll be mostly cloudy and a high near 60 degrees. And for Thursday night, chance of showers and thunderstorms. You can expect cloudy conditions and a low around 51. That's your weather forecast for this hour from the station that leaves no listener behind, NBC News Radio, AM 1050, KCAA.
KCAA, where every day is a great day. KCAA, Loma Linda.
The views of the following show are not necessarily the views of broadcast management or its owner, Fred Lundgren. But then again, the views of broadcast management are, well, different. And now it's time for On the Mark Live with host Mark Westwood. Finally, a show about KCAA. Hot topics, a little locomotion, current events, news, laugh, reviews, and a little irreverence. And you. And now, ladies and gentlemen, 3, 2, 1, Mark.
Hey-yo! Whoa! We got a little bit loud there. Joe, congratulations. Once again, we got off to a good start, didn't we? It's On the Mark Live with a whole host of guests today. We got one waiting on the phone, 3 in the studio, and a lot to talk about, folks. If you want an hour of pure local entertainment information, you've got it. Today, we'll be talking with a former Pittsburgh Steeler tight end who is now turning his efforts towards the war on synthetic drugs. His name is Bob Adams, and we'll be talking with him in just a few moments. We will also, believe it or not, have magic on the radio today. We're going to create some magic. Literally, we have a magician. And at the second part of our show, we will be going behind the curtain with entertainer Kevin Curtin. He is a local artist, I would say. Very good and skillful at what he does. And we're going to be having magic on the radio. So stand by. How are we going to pull that off? Well, you'll see. And so he'll be performing some tricks. This is a show about KCAA, so every week I try to have another KCAA star on. And this week we've got Danny Alcaraz. Hello, Danny.
How you doing, Mark?
Good. Danny will be with you in just a little bit, too, and you'll be talking. You got an exciting announcement to tell the folks out here in Radio Land, and also about your show a little bit.
Okay, I'm ready.
And then for color and humor, we have a potential new producer who I've been talking with about bringing on KCAA, Dr. John Reed. And hello, Dr. John.
It's nice to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, get a little closer to that microphone. You got the short stick today, I guess.
I'm afraid of relationships.
It's not on. It's actually not on. There's a little button right there. There we go. Now try it again. Hello, Dr. John.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Good. And give him a little more volume there, Joe. And that's my volume. This is a good pony. We hang on and ride. Very good. And once again, hello, Dr. John.
Hello, it's nice to be here.
Oh, good. That's a lot better. And I have a brand new microphone that's hotter than heck. I got to tell you, it sounds good. It sounds good.
Old time
Electrovice blue ribbon microphone, and it does really sound good. And so, with no further ado, we're going to turn a little bit and focus on the serious side first, because like I say, it's a mix of things, and this is a serious subject. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm privileged and honored to have Mr. Bob Adams here. He's here to discuss recently and highly controversial judgment regarding marijuana made by Judge Kimberly J. Mueller of the U.S. District Court in Sacramento. The decision maintains marijuana's position alongside such drugs as heroin and LSD on the DEA Schedule 1 list as most dangerous drugs. Very interesting, and mostly we're going to be talking about synthetic drugs. So welcome, Mr. Adams, and welcome to KCAA.
Thank you. Nice to be at KCAA. It's a pleasure. I like the area of the country you're in, and I'm over here in Hollywood, sitting here in a bunch of fumes, breathing them. But that's where our offices are, so that's where I am, and actually it's very enjoyable where I am.
So tell me, how does an 8-year veteran of the National Football League from 1969 through 77 get involved with such a project?
Well, the project's been going on quite a while. I work also with the Church of Scientology International. I'm vice president for the church. I've been doing a lot of work in the anti-drug world even before I was a Scientologist, but Mr. Hubbard, L. Ron Hubbard, did a lot of research on the effects of drugs in the mind and what it does to the being and body and the mind and how the person's perceptions are doing, and drugs do nothing but ruin those perceptions. But the sales pitch has always been, do drugs and raise your awareness, and that was basically a gimmick. It certainly does raise one's survival ratio. In other words, how bad do you want to survive when you put a toxin into your body? Well, the body tells you by shooting a lot of hormones into the body that make it feel better in light of the fact that a toxin has just been injected into it. So there's a lot of controversy about marijuana. First of all, there's natural marijuana. The marijuana that was around when I was a young man was in the 0.5% to 1% of the toxin that's in it, the hallucinogen called THC, tetrahydrocannabinoid, and the cannabinoid portion of it is what the THC is, and it lands into what are called receptor sites in the body, and you get the feeling that marijuana causes in the body. Now, the synthetic marijuanas that have come out are highly, highly dangerous because they basically fool the body into thinking that it is a marijuana cannabinoid, but it is a super cannabinoid that has a different molecular structure, but the body produces the same effect for the person, the high, on these drugs, but they're so seriously more powerful.
This is a drug you call spice, right?
Spice, yeah, the K2. There's a lot of different names for these, but they're essentially what has happened is some chemists who wanted to start a cartel. I don't know if they've been successful at it, but it certainly is becoming popular. They created a cannabinoid molecule that was a little bit different than marijuana, but much more powerful. In other words, it's a super marijuana synthetic. It's not organic.
So where are these drugs synthesized mostly?
Actually, they could be made. They can be made in any lab. There's been a lot of experimentation with these to see in different university hospitals and so forth to see what benefits that medical benefits that marijuana may have and may achieve for people who are in great pain or are cancer patients, AIDS patients. That was the original idea behind medical marijuana. Give it to people with cancer, give it to them that have AIDS. They're not going to be around. What's the difference? Let them smoke a joint or let them get an injection or a pill of THC. But it transformed into, hey, this, if you have a hangnail, go down and get a card and you can smoke marijuana. And then it's become legal in some states. But the marijuana of today is 10, 15, 20, 25%, 30% higher in content of THC than it was before. And it's been grown that way by the cartels who are basically intending to addict people to THC because it is addicting. And when you boost THC that high, now you have not just a marijuana high, you have a high that's going to cause irreparable harm to the endocrine system and the brain. And for kids to smoke marijuana, it has been clinically proven that THC harms neurons in the brain and causes brain shrinkage. And this is not a scary story. This is true. And consequently, attention span is diminished, hyperactivity is increased, but attention span, of course, is decreased, and also retention and memory, short-term memory, is lost.
What'd you say?
It's a
No, just
tragedy.
kidding.
It's very tragic.
I don't mean to make light of that. I just interrupt you just for a minute. I do have some other guests in the studio today, and I have a priest who is also a PhD doctor in psychology. Is that correct?
Actually, it's
Father John Reed.
It's a dual degree. It's a doctorate in religion and in counseling as well.
And then I also have Danny Alcrez, who's one of our people here at KCAA and owns a small business here in town. And then unrelated to this, for the later part of the show, I have a magician by the name of Kevin Curtin, who's also here.
Wow, that's quite a
we have a full studio
of people, a lot of talent there.
Yeah, and Dr. John had a comment. I want to hand the microphone over him just for a minute.
Sure.
Thank you. Just a couple of questions, because you're putting out a lot of information. I want to make sure that the listeners really have the ability to comprehend and digest some of this. Do you have any studies that you can cite that they can further research to help with the information you're giving us? And also, with these synthetic chemicals, would bath salts also fall under that?
Yes, absolutely, they do. They're
and what is bath
they're
salts?
synthetic, but bath salts, from a chemical standpoint, I can't answer that. But from an addicting perspective, they are addicting, and kids have had tremendous trouble with that, including some deaths. But these cannabinoid marijuana fakes, these synthetics, I have an article here from New York Times, and surge in hospital visits linked to drug called Spice alarms health officials. It's dated April 24th, 2015. If you go online, and anyone can go online and get the facts from different government agencies that monitor these drugs, and what is happening, and how many hospital visits, even Washington that legalized marijuana, and Colorado are having a surge of hospital visits, emergency visits, and 51% or over 50% of those emergency hospital visits for toxicity is due to marijuana.
Well, funny you should bring that up, by the way.
Yeah.
Just coincidentally, in today's San Bernardino Sun newspaper, which is our big main newspaper here in San Bernardino, across the front page was a big picture of a marijuana dispensary. And it's called MJ Incorporated in San Bernardino. And it is a regulated dispensary, but it's at the forefront of something. And its proponents, I guess you would say, which includes a former mayoral candidate by the name of Carmel Rowe, they are now starting to circulate a petition to allow these dispensaries, and they want regulated medical marijuana dispensaries, and they're pitching it in the effect that, I don't know whether you know this or not, but San Bernardino has been in bankruptcy since 2013.
Yes, I do remember that.
It's kind of along the lines of Detroit here as far as its finances go, and they're proposing that this could bring San Bernardino out of its bankruptcy. What do you have to say about that?
Well, I think whoever came up with that has been smoking too much cannabis. I do. It's crazy.
Carmel.
I mean, I also support the Foundation for a Drug-Free World. It's www.drugfreeworld.org. It has free materials that have been sanitized to be true facts, not any kind of hype. There's nothing to gain. It's all free, with downloadable videos of former addicts and former dealers who talk about their own experiences. I'll tell you, it's shocking when you hear these. And these are testimonials from real people, real stories. And when you listen to this, or I've given many lectures using these videos, and you can download them for free. I highly advise that anyone who is interested in teaching drug education, that they take a look at that website, because you can run a whole drug education program off your laptop or your Apple. Just plug it in, and you can give a whole class, 18. You can do it in 18 units, but all the materials are free, and it's all for real, and it's true. And right now, I mean, we've tried different ways and approaches to stop people, especially kids, from doing drugs, but the just say no has not really worked well.
The war on drugs hasn't worked, really.
The war on drugs, because the wrong approach. You have to educate the individual, and not everybody's going to understand it, but education and understanding of what a drug is, what each of the drugs are, the popular street drugs as well as medicinal drugs, Right now, more people are addicted to medicine than they are to street drugs in the United States. It's pretty hard. It's 15 million people that are addicted to Oxycontin and different painkillers and substances, antidepressants, and
level 1 drugs. Yeah.
Well, and then Ritalin. That's Ritalin and Adderall. There's more kids addicted to that. It's
all
it's
synthesized,
speed, basically.
yeah.
It's no different than chemically, not very different than speed, any speed. But these synthetic drugs are scary, and the reason I'm coming back to it is the problems are going up because they're not illegal in most states. They're not legal in most foreign countries.
Well, in San Bernardino, they've got 180 days to get this petition circulated. All they need is 3,600 signatures. There's 270,000 people in San Bernardino and about 78,000 registered voters. And it looks like they might get this. However, the kind of down joke side to this is that I guess the authors of this, the city attorney says that there's so many spelling errors in it that even if it does pass and be put into effect, that it might not be enforceable. So.
Yeah, I told you they must be smoking something if they can't spell, or they don't have a spell checker.
We're going to have you back. I've got such a big schedule today, and I asked you, can you come on next week? But, it was the conflicts and schedules. It's a very, very interesting topic, and I need to wrap it up. I think Dr. John has a comment here real quick.
Well, I just had a question. I don't know if we have time to go into it. I noticed that you looped in with the drugs antidepressants, and my question is, you think that people are addicted to antidepressants when truly that would be a hard trick. Antidepressants do not key the right components of the brain for that to happen. What it does is it creates more serotonin and dopamine because you're not producing enough of them. So I would be really concerned about telling people who have suicidal ideation, don't take your antidepressant because we're in a drug-free world.
That's a good point. And Danny, you have a comment?
Yes, I was wondering how about the people that are sick that need this cannabis seed? What about that?
You mean marijuana medical dispensaries?
Yeah, where they have cancer or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I think, I don't think anybody objected to that. Somebody with a terminal illness, they need all the help they can get. And if THC, which is really the component, at least theoretically it looks like the component, there may be some other, in research has shown that there's some other particles in the marijuana molecules themselves that may have some additional medicinal benefits. But for the most part, THC is highly addictive. But, to answer your question, if somebody's dying of cancer or AIDS, why would somebody try to prevent them from, at least when they're hanging on, to be okay and not pain free?
That's reasonable. That's reasonable. Yeah. I'm glad that you said that. Bob, it's been a pleasure having you. We've been talking, ladies and gentlemen, with Bob Adams, who's believe it or not, a former Pittsburgh Steeler tight end, and he went from warrior on the field to warrior against drugs. And we're going to have you back, Mr. Adams. There's much, much, much more that we need to cover, and I apologize that we have such a big, tight schedule today. But,
that's okay, and there's a component to sports on this, too, and maybe we can discuss that a little bit. But I really appreciate you having me on, Mark, and Doctor, and I forgot your other guest name.
Thank you, sir.
I appreciate
Danny Alcaraz, yes.
I appreciate your contributions, and thank you very much for having me on.
Thank you. We'll be talking soon.
You're welcome.
That was Bob Adams, former Pittsburgh Steeler and anti-drug warrior. Thank you, Bob. As we continue on with In the Mark Live, now we're going to lighten it up a little bit here. I've got a lot of sense of humor around this table, and we were having a good time around the back table in the station, trying to be quiet while the other show was on, and the jokes that were flying across the room here. With the food, yes, and you're making jokes about my cat food. By the way, the people next door, they're a great restaurant. But first of all, I want to welcome Danny Alcaraz here. And Danny, you've been around a long time.
I think 6 years.
6 years at KCAA.
Wow, now.
And Danny has organized a lot of stuff. If you come by here on Sunday afternoons, there's these cars in the parking lot, like a car show.
Big old crowds, all kinds of people.
And you have a Latino music block. And tell us a little about what goes on here on Sunday afternoons.
Well, there's a cruise night. There's stars coming, Latino stars, comedians. Oh, we have comedians now. All kinds of talent show. All kinds of guests. Business. Little kids. All kinds of guests. This is for the people to have something to do here in San Bernardino. That's what we do here.
And it's free. It's family orientated.
Yes.
There's food here. There's great cars here. There's great women and good-looking men, whatever you're into, I guess. And it's a lot of fun. And it all takes place right out the door here in the back door of KCAA.
Yes, it does. And the inside. And when we have all kinds of guests.
You know what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, but you know.
Okay.
You know that Spanish music has
here.
been so good that I've even learned to whistle in Spanish. I'm really impressed with your program.
You have learned to whistle in Spanish. Okay.
I got to hear that.
Let's hear this.
Oh, I'm not going to do it on the radio in case I mispronounce
Then you got to come
something.
to my show then, right?
Yes.
Yeah, come to my show. I want to hear that.
And Danny has a show called I Love San Bernardino with Robert Porter as well.
Yes, that's working out real good.
Working out real good. That started off like a blowtorch, and it just continues to heat up.
No, it keeps on growing.
Keeps on going.
Politics.
Oh, yeah. And, you know, if I had time, I'd be talking about the Carousel Mall and the San Bernardino Sun newspaper article. Read it and then don't believe a thing you hear. I got to tell you, they got Ryan, you got a little bit off on this, or either that or I got lied to by the assistant city manager when I talked to him that day. But what you say is happening in the mall being torn down is not exactly what I was told. So we're going to get to the root of that because somebody someplace misled somebody, misinformed somebody. I don't want to say lied or anything like that. Or maybe just totally misunderstood what was being projected here about the Carousel Mall and the bidders. There's 4 bidders left in the buying process of the Carousel Mall. And by no means does it mean that the Carousel Mall is going to be torn down. I kind of got a little livid when I read this earlier about 2:30 in the morning and wrote a diatribe and then deleted it, but I'm coming back to this a little later on. And there's so much to do here in San Bernardino, Danny.
Yes, there is.
So very, 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 very much to do.
A lot of hard work to do.
It's not for the lighthearted. It's not for the faint-hearted. It is for people who love San Bernardino.
We got to get this city going again.
Yeah. And you've been a long-time San Bernardino proponent.
Yes, I have. I just put my
This is the announcement. Okay. Drum roll, please.
Thinking about running for 3rd Ward here in San Bernardino.
You want to be a city councilman in this city?
Well, I haven't all the way fully decided yet, but I got
You're poking around. Huh?
Got my letter of intention out there right now. So
he's going to be like Hillary Clinton, you know.
Yeah.
Are we ready for Danny?
I don't know.
Ready for Hillary? Ready for Danny?
Kind of tossing it out there. And
you own a
KCAA.
business here in town.
Yes, I do.
And it is Danny's
Towing.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and doing okay.
Down there on I Street?
On Highland.
On Highland.
Yes.
Where is your? I'm sorry, I totally.
Highland State.
Highland and State Street.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And
is that where I'll find my car?
Oh, a whole bunch of them.
He doesn't discriminate. He'll tow the pastor's car, I guess. But
I didn't stand a prayer.
Oh,
I'll tell you what. If you do that song right now, that whistle, I'll tow your car for free.
You did tow it for free to your impound yard. It's getting it out that costs money.
That's right. You don't tow it for free anywhere. Just getting it out is the cost of money. But no, he also provides a lot of good services here in the community. And Danny has been a longtime activist. And tell us a little bit about some of the things you've done.
Writer, producer, towing, limousine service, real estate investor, all kinds of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Talent show here, a lot of shows, for 6 years now.
Yeah, and every time you tune into KCAA, you're on about 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yes.
You start in at 4 and ride right on almost to the midnight hour there. You're going to wait for the midnight hour.
Oh, yes.
You can hear some Tavares. You can hear Suavecito.
You can hear everything.
Malo. He plays all the good slow jam, Latino, old school stuff. Move over Art LeBeau. There's nothing on Danny Alcaraz.
Long time.
Well, I have a question for Danny.
Okay.
You said you both do tow truck and limousine.
Right.
Does that mean that when you're towing their car, you let them stay in the back seat while it goes to the impound yard?
Sometimes when everybody breaks down, yeah.
Okay.
I've done that before, too. Yeah.
I bet you have some stories about that.
Oh, I sure do. 35 years doing this business.
Yeah. Well, we've got some good entertainment coming. Danny provides it on Sunday afternoons, but coming up, we're going to look behind the curtain here in just a few minutes with Kevin Curtin, who is a local magician who I met about 3 weeks ago and amazed me in the dining room of Coco's in Redlands, along with some friends, Nancy Ruth White, and his mom, I believe, was there.
That's correct.
And forgive me, I don't remember your mom's name.
Mary Curtin.
Mary Curtin. You know, he stood right to the microphone to say that. Mary Curtin, very loud. Yeah, because that's right.
Otherwise, she would beat me.
That's right.
And you don't want the curtain to fall.
And I'm going to have you on more often, John. He's getting ready for his own show, Danny.
Really?
Yeah, we're going to put him on the air here, and it's not going to be for the faint of heart, and he'll have a good sense of humor. That's for sure. A good wry Irishman.
Are you going to invite me to be a guest on your show?
Absolutely.
Okay.
You know, we're two guys with faces for radio.
Okay. That's cool.
Well, we got just a minute or two, and my job in the next half hour or so, as we hand this radio show, we're going to have a break first, but maybe a little preview of something here. He has his way with this spoon thing here, and he's got a spoon. And just before the break here, and I'm going to have you do this and demonstrate it to Danny and Dr. John here. You're the magician here, and I will describe what's going on. It is a perfectly good spoon,
Please
a spoon like you'd find in your mom's drawer, maybe Mary Curtin's spoon, and you could eat breakfast cereal with it. It's a strong spoon. It's not one of those cheap 99-cent store spoons.
No, it's a real spoon.
It's a real spoon.
I don't see lighter marks on the bottom, so it's a good
and you can
spoon.
see yourself, and it's pretty nicely polished.
And this effect, and I'll tell you right now that I do magic. I am not a psychic, but I duplicate a lot of the things that the psychics do. And this effect was created some years ago and then popularized by the movie The Matrix. And the concept is, and of course, after having admitted that all of this is tricks, I'm going to treat the rest of the hour as if everything I was doing was legitimate. But what happens is when you're concentrating on the spoon.
Okay, he's got the spoon in the palm of his hand now. He's waving his hand over having his way with the spoon, and the spoon is absolutely bending, ladies and gentlemen. It is bending like it's a Superman bend there. Oh my gosh! If it bent much more, it would break. That spoon was perfectly straight, and it's just amazing.
I see that right now.
Yeah, isn't that incredible?
Have you ever worked for Viagra?
Let's straighten it out. Danny, would you hold out your hand, please?
Oh, kind of scared.
Just hold out your hand. Yeah.
Danny's scared. He's got the spoon in his palm of his hand here.
Go ahead and close your hand on it, please. We're going to try and do just a little more on it.
He's touching the spoon now.
Little.
He's kind of turning the spoon in Danny's palm.
All right. Did you feel that?
Oh my gosh!
He twisted it.
He twisted it, sister.
Try to untwist that.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Cannot be done.
And Danny's strong. He's got those hands from working on the tow trucks and tires and all that kind of stuff. It's amazing. Dr. John's trying it now.
That's right.
And I need to see the spoon here. I just have to see it here. And did it have any heat to it? There's no heat on it or anything like that? Well, this is why we have him here today, folks. On the second part of your show, you're going to find out that he's been working with Penn and Teller as well. And he looks like he could blend right in with Penn and Teller. Kevin Curtin, entertainer, magician extraordinaire, illusionist, but not a psychic.
Not a psychic.
We'll be back with more, Kevin.
That was amazing.
And Danny and Dr. John, and, of course, myself, Mark Westwood, right after this.
You've been listening to On the Mark Live with Mark Westwood, a show about KCAA, the world, and you, with more to come in a moment.
Some of corporate America's biggest climate change deniers, from ExxonMobil to the Koch brothers, are in dread of a potent storm that's gaining strength and headed right at them. It's the Category 5 Hurricane Francis, which threatens to overwhelm their flimsy ideological castles. This threat is not literally a hurricane, but a diminutive human who has become a force of nature, Pope Francis. In June, he intends to deliver a powerful papal encyclical putting the moral energy of the Church solidly behind the urgent imperative to end the industrial pollution causing global warming. Specifically, Francis will lead Catholics in a worldwide campaign to enact sweeping reforms proposed by the United Nations to halt the toxic emissions that profit a few wealthy investors at the expense of humanity itself. The Pope's principled, stout-hearted stand is causing fainting spells, gnashing of teeth, and bombastic rants in the lodges of the profiteers and their right-wing anti-science devotees. A delegation of climate change deniers from a front group called the Heartland Institute, funded by Charles Koch, even scurried off to Vatican City to protest what it calls the, quote, mistake that Francis is making. And a right-wing writer named Maureen Malarkey offered this feverish screed. Francis sullies his office by using dogmatic formulations to bully the populace into reflexive climate action with no more substantive guide than theologized propaganda. Whew, sounds like she's mad in both senses of the word. This is Jim Hightower saying they can wail all they want, but Pope Francis, who chose his papal name in tribute to the patron saint of animals and the natural world, is right that stopping the looming human disaster of climate change is not only a matter of science, but also of moral duty.
KCAA is your CNBC News affiliate. We're the station that gets down to business.
And now it's time to batten down the hatches, because here comes more of Mark Westwood and On the Mark Live. 3, 2, 1, Mark.
And thank you, Carlos. 3, 2, 1, Mark. We're back here with On the Mark Live. A great show here on Hump Day Wednesday. We talked with Bob Adams, who is an anti-drug crusader and former Pittsburgh Steeler tight end at the beginning of the show. We've also been talking with Danny Alcaraz, one of our KCAA stars here on Sunday afternoon.
Well, thank you, Mark.
And, we always have a show about KCAA here on Wednesdays. We could put a little something in there. And, Danny, when can they hear you on the radio?
I'm on the radio right now.
Well, I invited these guys into the studio. I should have known better.
He's into the moment.
Into the moment. Okay, but no, on Sundays.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. Robert Porter's on at...
I host with him.
Yeah.
And I host with him at the talent show.
I Love San Bernardino and the talent show. And then
4 to 6 o'clock.
4 to 6 o'clock, and they have all kinds of music on after that.
And we got the one and only Angel Baby after that.
Angel Baby. And the originals. No, not that. That's Rosie in the originals.
Yeah, that's Rosie, right.
Yeah. And, with no further ado, right before the break, if you were listening, you were hearing me describe the magic tricks of Kevin Curtin, an entertainer who is a local artist and entertainer. He's not a psychic, though, as we said. And
speaking of psychics, did I tell you about? I was reading a local newspaper. They had an ad for a psychic prostitute, and well, Mark, you know me a lot.
Okay, get ready for the bump button. Okay.
Well, I had to call. I just had to call. For $25, she blew my mind.
Oh, da-da-da-da-da. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, there it is. Okay, now back to the magic here. I have actually some nice little magic music.
Explain that joke.
Explain that joke.
It'll go to
your
head.
No, Danny. No. Go to our head. Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. Yes, Dr. John will be coming on to KCAA soon. But let's get back to Kevin Curtin. And he's going to do some tricks for us. And one of the things he says, do you have some extra keys? And I said, boy, do I have some extra keys. Not to make light of this, but every time someone departs from KCAA, maybe unexpectedly, I'll just put it that way, we do change the locks. We want to make sure we're not here in the middle of the night sometimes, that, the place is safe and there's no revenge or anything taken. And of course, that, frees them of any guilt if anything does happen. So, it's a good practice to change locks. And I wind up every time that Dibs Lock and Key comes over, they change the locks and they give me the new keys and they slip the new key onto this ring that hangs in the door, and there must be maybe, and it's not all me that fired everybody here. Okay, I've only been here for about 4 months as manager, but there's probably 20 keys on this key ring that don't fit anything, and I'm afraid to get rid of them.
So with all those keys, why are you using my car key?
Well, anyway, but Kevin, he said, do you have some keys? So I'm going to put these keys here, and you're going to tell me about this trick.
Well, again, this is something that was popularized in the 1970s. You kept offering me to take the keys, but I didn't want to touch them. Mm-hmm. And in fact, if you want to let Danny and John take a look at one or two of them.
Well, I happen to have 2 keys.
Yeah, and I haven't felt these keys at all, but probably if you tried to bend them in your hand, you would not be able to. They're pretty sturdy. Is that a fair assessment, gentlemen?
Yeah, I would say so.
All right.
You're a key personality now.
Exactly. I'm going to hand me one of them, okay? And we're all going to concentrate together on this key.
Squirrel. I don't know how to concentrate. I was taking too many synthetic drugs. No, just kidding. Okay, go ahead.
Exactly.
Okay, now he's touching the key.
Yeah,
he's kind of rubbing it.
Just a little bit. And
this is the last person that fired again.
Exactly. I feel bad karma going along with this key now.
If you only knew.
I do officiate weddings.
Is there a story here? That
I will be acting Dr. John about sociopathy later on, but okay. All right.
Actually, let's try something else first before we do that.
Want another key?
Not just yet. We're gonna try something else first. John, would you do me a favor? And what I'd like you to do is think of a number from 1 to 1,000,000. Let me know when you've got it. Don't say it out loud. Just think of it.
Okay.
Got it?
Yes.
The priest can't lie, so you know.
Not without confessing.
That's right.
And I'm going to write down something here.
He's writing on the card, ladies and gentlemen. You can see it, by the way, on Ustream.tv, on KCAA right now, on the Mark Live. We are on our website at kcaaradio.com, so you can see this on TV.
We're going to put the pen down. We're going to hold what I'm hoping is somewhat close to the number you were thinking of. I hope it was an integer counting number.
I don't wear dentures.
I don't know ginger either.
What was the number you were thinking of?
2005.
Is there a reason that you chose 2005?
I made bail.
Joe Britt's just dying over here in the control room, by the way.
I'm about to... Well, actually, I'll hand this to Mark. And if you would be kind enough to read out...
Oh, my God. It just says 2005. Right here, ladies and gentlemen. 2005.
Wow.
Right there. Out of all those numbers. And, you know, I've seen him do this trick a couple of times now with people. And the ladies next door that sold me my lunch today, they were just amazed by it.
Now, why is my sister's phone number on here, too?
We discussed that.
Didn't you talk about tricks earlier?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You know, he sells tricks to famous magicians. And I wished him better luck to my sister because she was arrested for selling tricks.
Now, Mark, you and I are going to try something here.
Uh-oh.
This is going to be psychic on both our ends. I'm going to try and send something to you, and I'm going to try and perceive whether or not you've got the right message.
I must warn you, you must have a mind in order to be able to read it, and I'm just kind of blown right now. But okay, go ahead.
This deck has 52 cards in it. You're familiar with a regular deck of cards?
Yeah, my brother used to play 52-card pickup with me all the time. We're not doing that, are we?
No.
Oh, okay.
There are no jokers.
Well, there's Mark.
In the deck.
In the deck, okay.
What I'd like you to do is just think of a card. I'm going to try and... What I've done is I've turned one card over in this deck. And I'm going to try and send to you the card that I turned over.
Okay.
Let me know when you think you have it.
I have it. Okay.
Okay, you don't have the right card. Would you think of a different card, please?
Okay. All right.
You got one?
Yeah.
Again, you don't have the right card. Would you think of a different one?
I'm getting him on this one. Okay, how about, let's see.
You have 50 to go.
Okay, I got one.
You got one?
Yeah.
All right. What was the card you were thinking of?
2 of diamonds.
Really?
Yes.
I'm going to very gingerly open the deck. The 2 of diamonds, you said, right?
I told you I had to have a mind to read. So you ran into some problem there. Some static in there. Well, there's the first one.
We're going to go through, and we're going to find one card that's face down. I'm not going to pull it out of the deck. Mark is going to pull it out of the deck.
Da-da-da-da. It absolutely is the right card, the 2 of diamonds.
Tthank you for choosing that for me, please.
But the card I was thinking of was right on top.
Yeah, that's
the
why
Ace
I
of
didn't want you
Spades.
to. That was why we didn't want to use that one, because that's the one we had on the front of it. And
oh, okay.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm very much, you can get me thinking one way or the other. So, you could hypnotize me like that. I don't know.
And we'll make sure that the deck is completely mixed up.
Almost as mixed up as we are.
Yeah,
that's right.
Exactly. And remember, there's a mirror there.
That's right.
Okay.
That's kind of we should handicap for you, isn't it?
Well, it's
cameras, mirrors.
I don't want people thinking later on, oh, well, he had a mirror. He could see what these were. So we're going to try a psychic experiment, and we're going to have Danny help me. If you would just grab a bunch of cards, 6 or 8 or 10 or 12, just a handful. Okay? I don't want to see them. I'm going to put the rest of them in the...
He took like the tow truck 6 or 8, and he's got like 30 there, but okay.
That's all right. Okay. I'm going to turn towards Mark so I can't see the front, the back. Even if it were a marked deck, I couldn't see anything. Is that a fair assessment? Is that the way?
Yeah, yeah.
All right. What I'd like you to do is I need you to see the cards because I'm going to try and perceive them through your vision.
You want me to see the cards?
Yes, please, Danny. You got them?
What if I can't see?
Well, then you might want to pass them to John if you can't see.
John will be the interpreter.
Okay, how about
Como?
You got them?
Okay, John,
you can both see them. That's fine as long as I'm going to try and get a perception of it. The human mind is 80% visual, so the fact that you're seeing it gives me about 5 times the chance of doing it if you were to just think about it.
And I can see them in the mirror, by the way, but you can't.
Okay. Right.
You cannot see them.
Okay. Exactly. Go ahead and take that the 8 of diamonds there and put it on the table that you're holding. You got it?
Not yet.
He's looking. What's an 8 look like?
Should be over there to your left.
Oh,
got it?
Go. Okay, yeah.
All right. Take the 6 of diamonds. Put that one down. Okay. When we shuffled them, everything is all mixed up. You pulled them randomly from the deck. Go ahead and take the Jack of Hearts. Put that on the table. Okay. And the 6 of Clubs and the 6 of Hearts, since you had a pair of them. Wow. Is that the 4 of Clubs? I'll take that. Go ahead and put that one on the table.
Very good.
Is that the 10 of Diamonds and the Ace of Diamonds? A couple of diamonds in a row. And the 7 of Clubs. Go ahead and put that one down. How many do you have left?
He mentioned that one too.
Thank you, John.
I see your back, so I got it for you.
10. Okay, and I had you put the 7 of Clubs down?
Yes.
Okay, and the go ahead and take the 4 of Hearts, put that one down. Okay. And may as well grab that 9 of Clubs while we're at it.
Right in perfect order, I really want to say that.
But we shuffled the deck. He's removed them. He's all right. Is that the 5 of Diamonds?
Yes.
And we've got a face card now. I hate face cards. Hate face cards. Hate face cards.
Yeah.
I think that is a Queen of Hearts. Is that correct?
Yes.
And the we'll do the. I believe it's the Ace of Spades.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Let's do the. I believe that's the King of Clubs.
Very good.
And I hate face cards. The 7 of Hearts.
This is absolutely amazing, folks. This is card after card he's getting right there.
And the 10 of Spades, is that correct?
That is correct.
He's down to a couple of cards
left.
Three.
All right. I may miss one of these then. I'm only seeing 2 of them. I'm seeing the Jack of Spades.
Yes.
I think we've got a. Wow. Think of one of them. Okay, one of you think of one of them. You both thought of a different card. One of you point to one of them, so you're both thinking of the same card.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, I'm still confused. I think you thought of the 9 of Hearts, and that leaves the Jack of Spades. Is that correct?
Nope. You were close.
You've got how many left?
One.
Okay. And it wasn't the Jack of Spades or the 4 of Spades?
4 of Spades.
4 of Spades.
4 of Spades. Oh
my God.
Hey, that was incredible. You asked Danny to take maybe 6 cards, and instead he took 30. You made him work.
That was great.
Thank you very much.
That was great.
Which shows he's ready to serve on the city council.
Yeah, we had to watch him there. Hey, Danny.
That was really good.
Thank you.
I was just watching Danny. He was just like trying to be all cool about this, but he was like, "Oh my gosh, his eyes are getting bigger and bigger and bigger."
I can't believe that.
That's a really incredible. You are a professional. You're not just some local yokel. You performed at the Magic Castle, don't you?
That's correct, yes.
Now, for the folks, what is the Magic Castle? Because that's something that's really cool. I know
Magic
about
Castle is the most famous magic venue in the world. It's in Hollywood, about 1 block north of Grauman's Chinese Theater on Franklin Street. And it is a private club. One has to be a member or know a member to get in. One has to have a guest pass or be with a member. Dress code, ties, jacket, evening wear for the ladies. And it's basically some of the greatest magicians in the world that you'll see performing. There's a close-up room which has a limit of 22 people. And there's one magician who comes in early in the evening. A different one comes in late in the evening. There's a parlor where you have one magician comes in early in the evening. Another magician comes in late in the evening. There's the palace, which has generally 3 magicians putting on about a 45-minute show. There are a couple of other showrooms that they use during the week. It was built on from a mansion that was created by Roland Lane in 1906, which was based on the Kimberly Crest House, which is right here in Redlands.
And there's an extension to that, because I know that name because there is a place in Disneyland that serves chicken. I'm trying to think of the name of this place.
Club.
It is Plaza Gardens. Plaza
right.
Gardens.
Yes.
And they based that Plaza Gardens facade on that same house.
That's
correct. It's a really incredible house. It's got a lot of history, and you just can't get into the Magic Castle unless you're pretty darn good, and you got to demonstrate that, and you got to be really accepted by your peers. It'd be just like us joining a club with Howard Stern and Ryan Seacrest and Rick Dees and all those guys that are so famous. I
don't want to brag.
But but you belong to that, huh? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I got a great idea. How about if I get $100,000 and we go to Vegas and you be my partner and you can read the cards and we'll split it.
That wouldn't be legal.
Okay,
Mr. Curtin, we must ask you to leave now.
You want to try something else?
Sure.
This is pure sleight of hand. This is not psychic in any way, shape, and or form. I'm going to ask John to take one card. You can look if you want to.
An
Remember,
average
there's a
deck
mirror
here?
behind you, so I don't want to see it. But I'm going to turn this way. Please show it to Danny and to Mark, please.
I can't really see. Okay, yeah, I can see it now.
Can I turn around?
Yes.
All right. What I'd like you to do is put it back in the deck anywhere you'd like. And I'm going to ask you to mix the cards. You can shuffle. Go ahead and
I'm
mix them
watching
up as
this
much
guy
as you
here,
want.
trying to see what he does with his fingers.
The last shuffle I did was the Thorazine shuffle.
Exactly.
Before I switched to Xanax. I'm sorry, we're not talking about synthetic drugs anymore.
right.
As long as we're not talking about dancing, we're fine. Now, you've shuffled the cards. I'm going to snap my fingers. Now, you know what that does?
It means when I was a child I had to come to dinner.
Precisely. No, actually what it does is it causes your card to jump out of the deck and land over across the table under the card box.
Wow, I see a card there.
There's a card there. Ladies and gentlemen, it is
the 2 of diamonds.
Now, I appreciate you choosing the imaginary card because there is no 2 of diamonds in the deck. You think you see a 2 of diamonds. It's all an illusion. I'm putting it back into the deck. You think you see it going into the deck. Yes?
Yes.
The 2 of diamonds is actually the card that I keep in my pocket over here. There isn't one in the deck. Go ahead and go through.
Well, now, wait a minute. I saw you put that 2 of diamonds in that deck here.
I did too.
And I didn't,
I had this with my ex-wife. She had me convinced I was happy. You're correct.
And you couldn't find your happiness?
Or my wallet.
All right.
2 of diamonds. Very good.
Now we'll try something else with Mark, if you would.
Okay.
Be so
It's
kind
been a long
as to
time since something's been tried with me, but
take
all right.
whatever card you'd like.
I brought money.
How much money does that take? Again, I'm going to turn this way so that I don't see the mirror. If you would show it to Danny and to John.
Can you see it?
Yes.
Okay. Can you see it now? No? Okay.
All right. Put it back in the deck. Whoops.
Anywhere.
Anywhere.
Okay.
Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you cards 4 at a time.
Mm-hmm.
Don't say anything until I ask.
Okay.
Okay?
If it appears in his underwear, you're getting it.
That's the reason I asked you to bring that lip balm from the Eight of Spades.
I knew I was going to be in trouble.
The King of Spades, the Ace of Clubs, the Jack of Diamonds. Was it one of those 4 cards?
Yes.
It was.
Right.
Okay. I am confused now.
You know why? Because I can't remember.
Listen,
I started my day at 4 o'clock in the morning, and I haven't finished yet.
You want us to say what the card was?
No. But was his card one of those 4?
Give me the 4 cards.
All right.
Sorry, folks.
The Jack of Diamonds.
Squirrel.
The Ace of Clubs. The King of Spades. The Eight of Spades. It was not one of those 4.
Not one of those 4.
Wasn't one of those 4. Okay, no.
All right.
I can't even add
My
that.
mind is just waxed.
Was it
now.
the 5 of Clubs? The 2 of... See, this way... Yeah, we're completely messed up now.
Should I tell you that you did pick that match of cards? It was there.
I think
remembered it. I had instant
You
recognition.
see, I thought you were thinking of the Ace of Diamonds, not the Ace of Clubs. Is that not
No,
correct?
it was the 9 of Spades.
The 9 of Spades.
But,
okay.
you know...
well, in that case...
You're dealing with somebody who's been, like, working for 14 hours, didn't get any sleep. Yeah.
And because he's very much into real information on the show, he tried some of the synthetic drugs before we
that was a good idea. Danny, would you hold out your hand?
Actually, I didn't try the
See, I
synthetic
can't do
ones.
this trick. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start cutting off small packets of cards. When I get to Mark's card, if you'd be so kind as to say stop.
I was trying to see how they could put that spoon into a roach. No.
Before I get done.
So how do I say it again then?
Yeah, I'm going to start cutting off small packs. Anytime you want, you just tell me to stop.
Stop.
There? What was your card?
9 of Spades.
Yeah. Fortunately, we've got him here. He can do that trick for me and turn over the 9 of Spades.
Thanks, Danny. You're going to have to tow me home to that.
Yeah. I would go with the limousine service rather than the towing
Let
service.
me put it away. Making these keys that you get to bend it has its consequences.
Well, we have.
I got to work more.
We have a future city councilman here. Maybe we should give him the keys to the city. They've been
Thinking
bent for a
about
while.
That's right. Probably missing.
Well, we've got just we'll try the key again. We'll just rubbing it a little bit here with the side of my index finger. I don't know if I've gotten any. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Wow.
He bent the key there. Just rubbing it with his finger. I've never been able to do things like that.
I've never done that with a key, but my doctor said I had a bent nail or something like that.
Well, I figured since we had the gentleman talking about marijuana, we should have some keys. Or is that an outdated reference?
So tell me, now I saw this YouTube video, and you were working, and you have this trick called the picture of the devil's picture or something like that. And if I can describe it, you have this like clear plastic case that's built so that no one gets hurt with this trick because there's shattering glass that happens.
Actually, the reason for the plastic box is to make sure that people know there's no one off stage shooting at the picture.
Okay, all right.
If they were shooting at it, obviously it would go through the plastic box.
Now, this is a trick that was developed for Penn and Teller, and everybody knows who Penn and Teller is.
No, actually, that was a different one that I did with Penn and Teller.
Oh, okay. Squirrel.
Now, this one,
a
gentleman named Mike Super did on America's Got Talent, and several other people have done it.
I saw that. That's the one I saw, yeah.
It's a lot of fun. It's kind of a neat effect. So if you ever get the chance to see that, I didn't bring it with me today. Otherwise, we could have done it.
Could you make that mirror shatter? No, don't do that. It's really expensive. No. The way it works, folks, is that without anybody shooting the picture or anything like that, and let me describe if I can remember this right here, that he'll have like a woman or somebody who's not like real strong reach in and grab the handle of the picture.
Okay. Well, hand it to them outside of the box.
And you do hand it to them outside the box.
Yes.
They get to inspect the picture, make sure that's correct. And
when I'm doing it, generally I hit the picture with a 2x4. Glass is 9 times stronger than steel, and it's just astonishingly tough to break a piece of glass.
Right, especially if it's thick. Yeah,
exactly.
My ex-mother-in-law did that to me, only she hit the picture before it was taken. It really hurt.
And so then tell them about the rest of the trick.
Right in the picture.
So that it's told accurately.
Well,
because
I hate giving away an effect that's,
Okay, we won't give it away then. But, folks, it is an astonishing thing. And let me tell you, glass flies everywhere. That's all I'll say. That's what makes it so neat is glass flies everywhere and a woman screams.
I'm pretty good with keys and fruit. That's about it.
I thought you'd key in on the making the woman scream thing, but you didn't. You're getting rusty, old man. Oh, Irishman, you're getting rusty.
Take your left thumb, if you would, please, and just break open the
this is my
cards.
left. Okay,
break open the cards and look at one card. No, right here on the side. Just look at one index of one card.
Okay.
I pulled away. You probably didn't see it?
Nope.
I did see it.
I did see it.
All right, hang on to the deck so I can't do anything with it. Now, you remember what the card was this time?
Yes.
All right. Well, what was it?
It was the King of Hearts.
No, there's no King of Hearts in that deck. That's the one we keep under the card box on the table.
Oh, here we go again.
He did this with my Captain Crunch this morning.
Oh, that card box.
I saw you do that.
Oh, my God. It is the King of Hearts, ladies and gentlemen.
There you are.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Very, very cool. Very cool. Joe, how many more minutes do we have here? Got just a couple more minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a great show. I wish we had more time.
Thank you for having me on.
Thank you so much, Kevin, Mr. Kevin Curtin, magician extraordinaire. We also had Danny Alcaraz.
Great tricks.
And for levity and fun and Irishman down there at the end with all the jokes, I'm going to have him back just for the color.
Who's starting a new church, the Celtic Orthodox Church.
Yeah, Our Lady of What's Happening Now. Yes.
Anyway, Dr. John Reed. And I think we're going to be hearing more of him on KCAA too. Tune in and see Danny at 4 o'clock. And, of course, we'll be back next Wednesday, Hump Day, at 4 p.m. And stay tuned for the Jason Stapleton Show, which will be coming up momentarily after we hear from the news from the National Broadcasting Company right here on KCAA 1050 a.m. Did I stretch that long enough for you? Maybe 2 more seconds here. Thank you, Joe Britt. Thank you very much for doing an excellent job, and thank you, everybody. It was a great show. We'll see you next week.
Everybody watch KCAA.
KCAA, and you can tune us in on Ustream.tv or KCAAradio.com.
Great show.
You're on board KCAA's Inland Talk Express. KCAA, Loma Linda, 1050 a.m., the station that leaves no listener behind.
I'm Tanya Hansen, CNBC Radio. Wall Street's been knocked around today amid disappointing jobs data and the Fed chair's comments that stock valuations are generally quite high. Janet Yellen said stability risks remained in check, but the Fed is keeping a close eye on the issue. The Dow is down 123. The Nasdaq is off 30. The FAA plans to work with Precision Hawk and BNSF Railway to test drones that can fly beyond an operator's line of sight. The separate partnerships are a potential milestone in developing unmanned aircraft for a variety of business applications. Drug maker Acorn is asking states to return supplies of the company's products that could be used for lethal injection, saying it strongly objects to the drugs being used for capital punishment. The chairwoman of the FDIC during the 2008 financial crisis has been named president of Washington College in Maryland. Sheila Bair will be the first female president of the school since its founding in 1782. Tanya Hansen, CNBC Radio.
There is something about the road that beckons, that invites us to pack up the family and leave the world behind.